Hey, Kane Prince here. Um, one thing you've heard me talking a lot about is OpenClaw, and I really want people to understand just how big this is. Like AI is huge in itself, but OpenClaw is the future. Like it is the biggest open source program to in the history of the world. And for those of you who don't know what open source is, it's a program that people make that they, you know, um, make the code available and stuff and offer it free to the masses. And Blender is a perfect example of an open source program that is free that people built and people are able to make plugins and things like that for. So OpenClaw is that, but for AI. And again, it is the biggest open source ever, bigger than Linux. Okay. So I, if you think about it, OpenClaw was released in November of 2025. It was called ClaudeBot. And then they changed the name to Moltbot around the beginning of 2026. And then in February, the official OpenClaw was released. So we're talking about, we are essentially in the first 100 days of this being a thing. And if you can imagine back when the internet started, right? Like I remember the very beginning of the internet where it was like people would create BBSs, which were bulletin board systems, and they would host it on their computer and people would dial in and connect. And then it was all ASCII code. So it was just like menus made with like text and stuff, kind of like we used to do on our old flip phones, using fonts to create graphics. And then there would be like menu systems and you could download information and stuff. So that was the beginning of the internet. And then the World Wide Web, which is what we all know about today, started. And if you can imagine going back in time and being an early adopter of the World Wide Web in the first 100 days and the position that puts you in ahead of the curve of everybody, I think that's what OpenClaw is right now. And that's what's happening right now. So that's why I'm really pushing it. I think this is the biggest invention since fire. And I think it's going to change our entire world. And I think people can either get on board or not. And the people who don't get on board are going to be screwed in the long run. So learn as much as you can, watch my videos, watch other people's videos, get an OpenClaw, have me build an OpenClaw for you, like whatever it takes to start working with this thing and understanding it and figuring out how you can leverage it in your day-to-day life. All right, thanks a lot.